Hi, do you remember the Maricopa County audit, the Arizona audit? Um, yeah, me too. All Trump supporters are really excited about the audit, right? So suddenly, for the past month, I just didn't seem to see any news about it, and then I was wondering what happened to that because the preliminary findings, or the kind of the information that they tell the public is that, oh, they found a lot of problems, then if the result is going to be in Trump's favor, then and then especially in for Arizona, the Senate is Republican, why we didn't see anything? So I decided to search and see what happened. So it's puzzling to say the least. So this is one of the earlier ones. So on the August 26th, the judge ordered Cyber Ninjas to preserve the audit record in the lawsuit filed by the Arizona Republic. So I can read. So the Arizona judge, for the first time on Wednesday, direct ordered the company that led the audit of the 2020 Maricopa County election to preserve all of its records from the effort so they can be released to the public. And then the very uncomforting for Trump supporters is that we want clarity, transparency, and honesty. And somehow they argued in court that the emails about the audit and other records is not subjected to the state's public record law. So they refused to release the email information. And if that's the case, then this will bring the entire audit into disrepute, right? Because people want transparency. They want to know what's happening, and then suddenly you have this company trying to tell people that no, I cannot tell you, I cannot show you everything. Then that would be weird, because the Republicans in the Senate hired Cyber Ninjas to run the audit, and everyone is waiting for the preliminary report. But somehow the CEO and others contracted COVID-19. So of course, what happens is that lawsuits appeared, and then they wanted to seek all communications involved in the audit, and that's only rightly so. So the American oversight sued the Senate first, seeking the document. Then, so this group is a former Obama group, and then the Republic subsequently filed a lawsuit naming Cyber Ninjas and the Senate as defendant. So they all requested the documents through the state public record law, and the records are not turned over. So I have no idea what's wrong with this Arizona audit, because the entire audit's purpose is to find the truth, to get transparency, to get clarity. Is there election fraud? And if there is, and I'm sure there is, what is the scale? It can be small, it can be big, it can be enough to overturn the result, maybe it's not enough. And I'm sure Trump supporters don't really care that much in terms of whether it will flip the result, as much as they wanted to. But at least people want clarity. They want to know that their votes counts and their votes is not corrupted. And somehow, for a simple thing like an audit, it took so long and there's no conclusion. So what kind of election is this? How can the election, which you can confirm the result in the single day, usually, have an audit that takes months and still no end in sight? So the Arizona election audit, this is by BuzzFeed, not a Trump supporting media, isn't done, but two Trump supporting Republicans just declared victory for him anyway, which is the kind of thing that Trump supporters should not do, at least if you are a politician. So they call it the sham audit. Have yet to produce evidence for widespread voter fraud. So supporters of former President Donald Trump appears to be tired of waiting, and that is true. We are really tired of waiting, because we wanted to be proven correct that there are election fraud and Trump actually is the winner. However, even if it's not, we want to know for sure that the election is audited at least people know that, okay, this result is really true, and then Trump supporters can actually move on. It was supposed to last 60 days, the audit, but it have dragged on as the Arizona's Republican Senate leader tacked on additional reviews and tried to subpoena more election equipment from Maricopa County. And from what I understood, the county did not want to hand over the equipment. So Cyber Ninjas, the contractors running the show for months, suggested in July they found tens of thousands of fake ballots, and they cannot be sure without more information from the county. So this is the part where it bring our hopes up, but then somehow they cannot be sure unless they have more information from the county. So the right thing to do is actually just to show what you have. Once you show what you have, then if the Senate or the government decided that this is significant, they'll probably send the police or the SWAT team to the SWAT team to actually go and get the machines by force. Somehow they are supposed to submit an initial report to the Senate on the August 23rd, failed to do so because they contracted COVID-19. So that's August 23rd. 2 weeks from August 23rd, let's see. So this week. So not sure how serious is that. My mother-in-law caught COVID. She is still in the hospital. Yesterday she still tested positive. She has been in the hospital for 5 weeks, but of course she's an old person with a lot of pre-existing conditions. So I'm quite sure these people are a lot more healthier. It will be at least 2 weeks before Cyber Ninjas deliver any report, which is these 2 weeks. So two staunchest backer, so one State Senator Wendy Rogers and Mark Fickham made a proclamation on Twitter within minutes of each other, calling on the state to recall its electors and decertify the election. Do we need any more evidence? Yes. Where's the audit result? And this is the kind of thing that discredits Trump supporters, because you call for an audit, the audit result is not out, and then now you say, oh, we've won. So yeah, of course Arizona cannot decertify the election. Joe Biden is president, so none of them have formal role in the ongoing GOP audit and have no control over state electors. So blah blah blah. These are So they say the election, as in every state, have been audited multiple times without finding evidence of widespread voter fraud. Arizona did its own random hand count of more than 5,000 vote cast in November and did not find a single discrepancy. A single? No? I remember there are discrepancy, right? Some votes was lost and then was added in. So 2 independent firms reviewed its election equipment and also found no issue. So let's open these links. So let's look for the conclusion. Let's jump to the results. They passed all tests performed by the 2 independent firms. So okay, that's good. Everything no issue. Cool. So hand count audit. %. What is the result? No discrepancy were found. So hand count and machine count is all correct. Okay, I remembered. So this is when people were talking about check the paper. Is there a is it being replicated? Is it a printed one? So I think the audit was supposed to do that. So, and unfortunately, I just feel that if the audit you cannot find things to prove that there's election fraud, then you should just close it. So here comes this. Oh, shut up. And so the Arizona Senate continuing its fight. So this article is on the 1st of September. So Arizona Senate is continuing its fight to keep secret nearly 3,000 emails and text messages sent by lawmakers and others related to the Maricopa County election audit. Their lawyer told a judge on Wednesday. So the Senate turned over thousands of pages of communication ordered by the 2 judges. But the Senate also provided a log of approximately 2,900 messages that are withheld or redacted because the Senate does not believe turning over them is required under public record law. And among those is communication between lawmakers and the sub-engines. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that I think even Trump supporters really don't want to see. We want everything transparent. So it's so disappointing because this kind of thing just discredit the entire audit. And it's like it doesn't matter what's the audit result anymore, because the moment you try to hide things, then there's no difference between this and election fraud. So this is garbage. There's nothing. Just now I read through the article. So why I got reminded about the Arizona audit was because Liz Harris. So she was doing canvas, visiting every single registered voter, and try to ask them about their votes, and she found tremendous discrepancy, and that's really odd. So if you ask me, if you're going to do an audit of the election and then somehow you never did the canvas for the audit side, then what's the point of the audit? Because just to find if there is discrepancy in those papers. But the problem of the election is not just this. The problem with the presidential election was that votes were lost, votes were thrown away, was torn. There's vote dumping. So isn't a canvas will be required to actually authenticate the election? So somehow we have an independent group. So I read The official Arizona ballot audit group did not perform a canvass of the voters in Maricopa County. The authorized Arizona audit did not include the canvass because the U.S. Department of Justice was prepared to launch federal voter intimidation charges against auditing firm if they contacted any voters in person. Yeah, and which is one of the problems they're attempting to verify voter authenticity to vote counted. So this is weird. Not sure how to make of this. There must be a better way, right? So if a single Arizona voter contacted was to file a complaint about the contact, the auditor would be subjected to federal investigation, and the investigation itself would throw a back over the entire audit. It's a legal catch-22 deployed by the lawfare group inside the DOJ Civil Rights Division. So let's watch this video if you haven't watched.
Okay.
Oh no, this is 30 minutes. I'm not going to play this. So basically, this is what she said. So get a first look. Audit summary. Okay, let's jump to the report better than read this article. So the is this the audit? Okay, this is not the audit by the Arizona Senate. Yeah, this is irritating. Yeah, they call it almost the same name. So this is a separate audit. This is an independent group. So they concluded that there are 173,104 lost votes and 96,389 ghost votes in the 2020 election in Maricopa County, and they declared that the election is uncertifiable. So this is the conclusion. I think so we can go a bit of detail. So they have volunteers went door to door verifying registration and voting information for thousands of residents. So these are American citizens living in Maricopa County who cast a vote primarily by mail in the election, yet found no record of their vote with the county, and it was not counted in the reported vote totals for the election. So additionally, an estimated 96,000 plus mail-in votes were cast under the name of registered voters that were either unknown to the resident of the registration address or who were verified as moved away prior to the October 2020. Other irregularities were uncovered during the canvass at a smaller scale, including vote cast by mail from vacant lots, votes recorded from residents who had not actually voted. So this conclusion is that this is entirely correct. The results are a travesty to democracy and voting rights. So if they are really confident and this is really legit, they should launch a lawsuit. I don't think they can just disqualify the results of the election. They are just too much political cost, and I don't think there is anything within the US legislations that allows this kind of thing to happen. So their conclusion was ban vote by mail, and I agree. Most countries in the world they do not do vote by mail. The main reason is that the chances for fraud is just way too high. The chain of custody is not there, and you don't really see your vote directly into the ballot box, and this itself is a problem, because for the ballot boxes you can have security and independent observers to ensure that the ballot box goes all the way to the counting, but you cannot see your votes if it's mailed in. So I would believe this is a much better bet to actually get some justice. If you cannot overturn the result, at least this is a much better way to prove that something is wrong with the election and something have to change. Because I don't think it's possible to change the results anymore, even if they do canvass across all the contested states, like Georgia, but I don't think the results can be changed. There's just way too much political cost in changing the results, and it will cause a lot of chaos. And although I think that if they try, a lot of the former Biden voters will be happy to have the election result flipped because they are just pissed off with Biden now. So coming back to cyber ninjas, so people are really pissed because they got COVID. So they were like, they're supposed to submit the draft, and then they got COVID. 3 out of 5 of them. This is just ridiculous drama. I don't even want to read the article. And we come back to this, which is true by the book. Not sure if that's how you pronounce that word. The cyber ninjas will finding other states can run sham audits too, and I totally agree, because if you cannot just come, you say 60 days, and 60 days you must come up with the results, and if you don't have a very clear and easy way to do the audit, then the audit fail. Simply as that. It means the audit itself failed. That means the audit is worse than the election. So because at least in the election there's a clear result, even if there's fraud. But when it comes to audit, and things are so corrupted where no one wants to be transparent, and the conclusion isn't conclusive, that's worse than just counting votes for a simple majority. I don't really feel like reading this, because we don't have to read to know that this headline is true. If a audit cannot, how to say, do we really need to audit the audit? So if the audit itself is not transparent and is not believable, if the people on the other side of the political spectrum do not support or believe in the audit, then the audit doesn't work. Perhaps the solution is to come up with a way of auditing that is by law part of the election process. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, because the main problem over the past election was because of the mail-in ballot that complicates the entire election. So yeah, so I believe the previous conclusion was correct. The conclusion is ban mail-in ballots. I think that's the only way for America to have elections that is believable all around the world. So unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna see any of this audit anytime soon. It's 2 weeks plus since they declared that they caught COVID-19, the cyber ninjas, and I got a feeling that they are just dragging for more time to come up with a report that the Republicans want to see. So that's all for this video. I hope you will subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. If you find this is a meaningful video, you can share this and help to promote my channel. If not, it's okay, and I will see you next time.